Welcome to enVisioning Success, the weekly podcast that's your prescription for business clarity. In today's episode, we dive into the dynamic realm of effective branding. We're unraveling the intricacies of crafting a distinctive brand identity, providing you with strategies to enhance your business's visibility and resonance. Whether you're embarking on a new journey or a well-established company seeking to refresh your brand, this episode is filled with valuable insights and practical advice.
Hi, everybody. My name is Laura DiBenedetto. I want to welcome you to the show where you can envision your success. My name is Laura DiBenedetto. I am your host. I am with my fabulous sister from another mister, business partner extraordinaire, work wife, all the things, Julia Becker Collins. Hi, Julia.
Hello, hello.
This show is sponsored by, wait for it, Vision Advertising.
There you
I
go.
made a flub in the
got it.
outtakes when we were recording the first 4 episodes, and I mentioned one of my other companies, and it was like, no, that is not it. Oops.
Start again. Yes.
So today and for the next 4 episodes, we're going to be talking about branding. Branding is more than your logo.
There
So
you
we're
go.
getting into that. A lot of people don't understand what branding is. A lot of people get it wrong, and because they get it wrong, they make a lot of mistakes that actually cost their companies money. So what we're going to be talking about today is defining what branding is so you can hang your hat on it, know for sure what branding is, what it is not. We're going to be specifically talking about evaluating your current brand, not your logo, strengths and weaknesses. Okay?
There you go.
So to dive in here, because, let's just do a cannonball in the deep end. Let's just talk about what a brand isn't. Julia, take it away.
As Laura mentioned, your brand is not your logo. Your logo is a visual representation of your brand. It is not the other way around, in which your brand is your logo. And this is a common mistake that business leaders and business owners of all size and maturity companies are faced with. They think that through no fault of their own. But like Laura mentioned, it really can cost you actual dollars and cents to not understand the intricacy. Okay.
Oh, you nailed it. Intricacy.
Thank you.
Baby.
Thank you. Listen,
Words.
Master's degree, bachelor's degree. You'd hope I'd be able to say words, but
Welcome to the
So-
Abba-Dabbas.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that I think a lot of people really struggle with. And so, as I often say, when I present about branding to audiences of all sizes, I say, it's okay. It happens to everyone. And this is why we're here, to help you kind of move to that next level and understand what this is.
Cool. So give me like 5 examples of what a brand is.
Yeah, absolutely. So a brand is what you do as a company. So we are Vision Advertising. We are a full service marketing agency. And we like to say that if it smells like marketing, we do it. So that could be part of your brand or as part of our brand. We are not a manufacturing company. We are not a political nonprofit. We are not rescuing kitties and puppies, as much as I would love to, by the way.
And I would love to help.
I know. So it's what you do and what you do not do.
Hold on.
And
clarifying point.
yes,
What you're saying is it's not just what you do, but it's also what people know you to do.
Correct. Thank you for that.
Got you.
Your brand is the external representation of your company. And I don't mean that in the logo way of what they see on the page. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. So an example from a very large company is Coca-Cola. I just had a conversation last night with a fellow business owner, and we were debating the merits of Coke versus Coke Zero versus Diet Coke. This is a real thing that happened. But the fact that she knew it wasn't generic for soda, and she knew I was talking about the brand name, and she knew the differences between the different kinds of colas. And for me, as a long distance runner, I really embrace full leaded sugar Coca-Cola, and a lot of runners do, whereas she embraces Coke Zero, whereas, professional women often do. And it's, what does that mean to you? And it's what are people saying about you like that when you're not there?
That's interesting. That's a northern thing, because here in the South, everything is Coke.
I know.
You want a Sprite? Here, I'll give you a Coke.
Or everything is pop in the Midwest, I think.
Yeah, that's a thing too.
Yeah. Yep. But that's why I want to make sure I distinguished between kind of
Cola.
the generic. Yes, cola versus Coca-Cola.
Cola. It is fun to say cola.
Oh boy. Welcome to the Punchy
today.
Show.
It's all good.
I know. Other things that it is your guiding North Star as a company. Yeah. A lot of decisions that are made by business leaders at kind of all different levels of a business and all different maturities of the business can be all over the place. Why would you do A, B, and C? Should you have marketing on TikTok? Should you enter into a new product, et cetera, et cetera? And sometimes those decisions are made by gut feelings, and what they really should be made on is that guiding North Star. So when you stare down the barrel of your brand, you know exactly who you are as a company, who you serve, who you can serve, what people say about you when you're not in the room, what you want them to be saying about you when you're not in the room, et cetera, et cetera. So then you understand, should I be marketing on TikTok? Should I be entering into this new marketplace, et cetera?
And you also know who you're not.
Correct. And as I always say, and many people say, you can't be everything to everyone. Otherwise, you're nothing to no one. And that is also very difficult for people to understand.
Amen. I am ready to tithe at that church. So,
Yep.
I think the whole guiding North Star is a really, really good point. So a couple things I want to add to that. One is it's who you are, what you want people to think about you, et cetera, and who you're serving, but who you're not serving, what you're not saying, what you're not talking about, because the emptiness is just as important as the somethingness. Okay. So we need to get really clear always about where you stand and who you are and who you're not, and all of that. So, vision advertising, we don't spend loads of time talking about funnel building, for example, because that's not really what our brand is. And it's not really who buys from us either. So it's not a subject that we get into. No, the first couple of episodes of this show, they were about business owner stuff and acquisitions and thinking about, what do you want to do when your company grows up? Because those are things that our customers care about. And now we're talking about branding because that's what our customers care about. It's really about being relevant and making sure that people deeply understand clearly what you do. There's actually a ton of examples out there, and you've probably seen them, of like teeny tiny little businesses. And this was me back in the day when I started vision advertising, when it was just little baby face me. And I was like, I'm going to offer 87 services because I want to do everything. I had like 5 customers. That's it. And they were like, what do you do? No.
Right.
So then I got it clear. We do marketing. If it smells like marketing, we do it. Oh, okay.
Right.
Take a whiff of that.
There you go.
That's my new tagline. You like it?
No, that's terrible. That's not good branding.
Damn it. Well, poor branding on my part.
There you go.
It's stinky. See what I did there?
Oh my God. What are we going to do with you, Laura? To speak to your point about what you are and what you're not, and the services you offer and the services you don't offer, I think oftentimes when a business is starting out, especially, but even in the mid stage of a business, people think, well, I serve everyone, because you want to be able to sell to everyone. And that's just not true. Now, if you could sell to everyone, that'd be great. I have not met a product or service that really does sell to everyone ever. But looking down, at your brand and focusing on it as your North Star helps to drive the choices that are true to what you want to be doing and what you're good at. And if you sell to people outside of that, that's great. It's gravy on top. But you need to be focused in on what is it that you do? Are you a baker and you make cakes and you really specialize in wedding cakes and that's great, but somebody approaches you for cookies? Yeah, technically you could do it, I'm sure, but that's not your thing. And so you shouldn't be showing that you bake cookies because that's not your bread and butter.
And you'll confuse your target. So the major objective and reason you care about branding is because you make more money when you are well branded. That's the
Hmm.
point. You know, I guarantee you somebody is listening to this right now being like, well, I don't want to say that I don't do cookies because then I'm turning away money. No, 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 no. Stop
Right.
focusing on what you're going to lack. Start focusing on what you will gain. You will gain people who will pay you to do the thing you're best at. They will pay you more to do the thing you're best at. And you'll have more fun in your job and you'll be able to expand because it's hyper specific what you do. Coca-Cola can hire more cola people that
There
can
you go.
make many different brands of cola.
Exactly. And it helps you to, well, now I lost my train of thought. So, it's going to
There
be
it
one of
left the
those days.
station. That's
I
okay.
know. I apologize. Um, oh, so what I was going to say is that it helps the person that you're trying to sell to really see themselves in your marketing, in your public representation of the brand. And so somebody that's excited about what you do, that whatever you sell, whether it's a product or a service, um, they can get more excited about it because they can relate to what you're saying more because you are so specific.
Awesome. So if you're thinking, probably rightly so, that your brand isn't as clear as it could be, this episode is definitely for you because this is the episode where we're going to be talking about, again, evaluating your current brand's strengths and weaknesses. We had to define what a brand was and was not before we could do that. And I hope you remember that definition for the next couple of episodes. So Julia,
Mhm.
it's obviously important that we understand where the brand is currently before we make any changes. Can you talk to me about some tools and techniques for brand auditing?
Yeah, absolutely. And this could be everything from working with a marketing professional or agency or somebody in your company that can give it a really, acute eye on all the different layers of your brand and how it's represented. This is really the episode of us not being able to speak. Um, and then it could be that, but it also could be having somebody from outside of your company, whether it's a marketing agency or somebody you trust that's a professional contact, really look at your public representation of the company. So the website, the social media pages, your product or service pages, kind of all the different ways in which you talk about the company. It could be clips of you discussing the company in public, etc. And having somebody who is outside and not really like knee deep or nose deep in the brand say, oh, I understand this or I don't understand this. As with many things, getting another perspective is incredibly helpful because you need to understand how the outside world is going to see it. Most businesses struggle to explain who they are in a way that their ideal client is going to be interested because most businesses are too far deep in the weeds of it
Mm,
and they are excited about things that maybe the client isn't excited about.
mm. Yeah, you're right. You really do need a healthy amount of distance
Hmm.
to be able to objectively see something. It's very difficult to be objective about your business. I've struggled with that same objectivity, even though I know I need to have it. But this is where, yes, you can work with a marketing consultancy. You can work with us. Shameless plug. Hello, sponsored by Vision Advertising. Go check us out. But you could also work with sometimes friends and family. You can also do market research. You can ask, people in the community how they feel. Um, there's a certain, tell me if you agree with this, Julia, but I think there's a certain level of brutality to the honesty that you need to have with yourself. You need to be prepared to hear things that you might not like, no, you're not known for that, or nope, that is not how people see you, or yeah, people are confused as hell.
Right. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Um, We have had clients in the past where they would explain their brand to us, because that's definitely one of the first things we ask about. And the way they explain it, it's very obvious that they are deep in the weeds of the engineering of the service, and they're really excited about the ones and zeros and nerding out on it. And that's awesome. That's why they're great at building things, but they don't have a clear understanding of why somebody would buy from them. And it's easy to see that when you have a conversation with them about it and say, why does somebody buy from you? How do they find it? How are they onboarded? What's your relationship like with those clients? How long do they stay? What do they say about you? What do your reviews say? And understanding what the differentiator is that you bring to the marketplace, in the outside eyes rather than you, the business leader's eyes.
Mm-hmm. So the next thought here is, about collecting customer feedback and insights. I think sometimes it can be really challenging, and sometimes people are reluctant to say what they truly think or feel because they don't want to hurt our feelings. In my experience, it's always been a really good idea to give people permission to be brutal, and you get to say something that's true, even if you think it'll hurt my feelings, because I'm a big girl and I can handle it. I need the truth more than I need my big, stupid feelings right now. Tell me how you see, the company. Is it clear that we do this? What do you think we do? I knew I had a branding problem back in the golden era, ages and ages and ages ago, before color television, when vision advertising was still a new company. When my mom used to say with pride, my daughter does websites. And I'm like, Mom, I do so much more than that. It's like, I have a branding problem because Mom, who never minces words, thinks I do websites, and I do more than that. So I knew that I finally had gotten it right when my mom was like, oh, my daughter is a marketing genius and she can help people make a lot of money. And I was like, nailed it. I have finally nailed it. Yes. But it took me years to finally get there. I mean, my mother is available for brutal consult if you need her.
I think it's great. I'm in a lot of networking groups and business leadership groups and Facebook groups of business leaders. And people are always asking for feedback on, oh, hey, I built a new website for myself. Can you give me feedback? And 9.5 times out of 10, all the feedback is like, oh, I love it. This is amazing. And it seems like, and I can't speak for anybody else, but it seems like, either the person isn't prepared for constructive feedback because they didn't ask for it, or people don't understand that you should give constructive feedback if you're asked to give feedback in general. It's not mean, it's not nasty. It's, I'm confused about this. As somebody that's not in the middle of your company, it doesn't make sense to me when you say A, B, and C, or, you're really in the weeds over here on this page, but it doesn't matter to me, and I'm still confused about what your company does or where they're located or what your values are, or why should I buy from you, really? And that's something that we at Vision Advertising have had long conversations about, because there are a lot of marketing agencies out there, and we work really hard to differentiate ourselves.
Absolutely. I remember saying to people for years, I need your brutal honesty. Like, I've been at this long enough to you're not paying me to have feelings about this. You're paying me to do a good job, and I need your honest feedback. And, that's from me as the agency service provider, but the same truth is there. And I think that it's an invitation to all of us as business leaders to have thicker skin and ask for points of failure, and be okay with it, because it doesn't mean, and this is me putting my life coach hat on, you're not a failure as a person. You just might have missed something obvious because you're just too close to it, and we all suffer from it from time to time. Doesn't make you a bad person, and your mom still loves you.
Use the special voice when you say things like that?
Yes. How does that make you feel?
It's a very NPR voice.
Would you like to try my muffin? It's moist.
There you go.
Please tell me y'all saw the Betty White episode and I'm not just being a creepy perv.
The SNL skit.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was hilarious. Also, huge Betty White fan. May she rest in peace.
Yep. R.I.P. Yes, I would agree.
So the last thought that I want us to walk away from this conversation with is how we analyze competitive positioning and market perception. So once we've got the information, we have someone help us do it. We do surveys, we do market research, whatever. We've gotten customer feedback. What do we do with it? What's next?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you need to have some very honest conversations internally about what you are seeing. Unfortunately, sometimes what happens at that point is people say, well, these people don't know what they're talking about, and this can't be correct. And we're going to go back to doing what we did before, which, if you know me, you know that I am allergic to, we've always done it this way, so we're going to continue to do it this way. It's an answer I don't want to hear.
That gives me anaphylaxis.
Right, exactly. It is absolutely not the way to move your business forward and be more productive and profitable. I highly recommend that people, take time to digest the information. Even if you're somebody like me or like Laura who makes decisions really quickly, sometimes you need time to kind of chew it over and be like, oh, I didn't realize that people saw Coca-Cola as something that, is literally debated in a bar, et cetera, et cetera. Or
I was
didn't
8 years old when I learned that.
There you go. Or I didn't realize that I'm known for my wedding cakes and not my cookies, et cetera, et cetera. So, definitely take a beat. Don't make knee-jerk reactions or decisions. Don't take it personally, like what Laura said. It's a business. You need to understand how people are seeing you and what other people are doing that are your competitors. What can you learn from your competitors? Again, don't take it personally.
It's objective data.
Correct. It's, what are they doing that you wish you could do? What are they doing well that you're like, oh, that is so smart. How can I make that mine? Oh, that's a great idea for them, but that's not what we want to be doing. And that's okay too. But it's really like taking that step back from being so close to it and understanding what else is out there and how you are seen, and then having an open and honest conversation, whether it's with the third party that you worked with or internally with your leadership team, saying, okay, now that we have this information and we've all digested it, and we understand that, we definitely have some changes we should be making so that we can be speaking to the marketplace better and thus be more profitable. What should we be doing from here? And that is often a conversation that should be had alongside a marketer or a marketing professional, whether it's your director of marketing internally, hiring an agency, working with a freelancer, et cetera, because they are marketing experts, whereas you are a production expert or a manufacturing expert or an engineering expert or a restaurant expert, et cetera. So definitely getting the perspective of somebody who lives, eats, and breathes marketing and is inside that world all the time.
That's awesome. And I agree with that 100%. I think as part of that, if you feel yourself agitated by the information that you have learned, take a little bit of space and time away from it so you can regain your objectivity, because you can't afford, and I cannot emphasize this enough, you cannot afford to make an emotional decision about a logical thing. It is simply a data point. And it really, not using my NPR voice, it really is not a reflection on you as a person. It's literally information. Put your big feelings away. And if you need a couple days to do that, you need to go cry, punch a pillow, do the things, like, it's fine. You get to be upset, but not when it comes time to making decisions and actually reaching an objective assessment and evaluation of where you stand. You have to be objective. You have to be devoid of emotion and being patient with yourself, because, I don't know, we're human, and every human, even though some of us are allergic to feelings, we still have them. And, I've gotten pissed off at myself because I missed the mark on something, and it's normal. Like, it's fine, but have your feelings.
Being self-aware. It's really like, I am somebody who is not emotional, but I know that about myself. And Laura is somebody who is more emotional, and she knows that about herself. And these aren't bad things. They're great things, especially when you're in a duo or a dynamic duo, as it were. There you go. But it's understanding like, oh, okay, so I, Julia, am coming at this from a place of not a lot of emotions, but I bet that a lot of people do have strong emotions about this, and putting yourself aside and understanding, what you're really good at and what you're not good at. And that's a really important thing as a leader in general.
Yeah, it really is. It's so funny. Like, I actually felt myself ever so slightly like triggered by Laura is more emotional. And it's like, wait. I can feel like a lot of people might be kind of quote unquote triggered by that, because to be emotional has been labeled as something as a bit of a liability when actually it isn't. And none of us need to feel bad about this, because there's a proper time and place for having a cooler head. There's a proper time and place for having emotions like empathy. It can make you a good leader. So there's advantages to both of these things. So if you find yourself on the more cool, calm, and collected side, congratulations. If you find yourself more on the emotional, big feeling side, congratulations. You win either way. But just know who you are, then assess and whatever. Like, if I find myself pissed off, it's not exactly news to me that I'm pissed off. It's like, I hate the information I just received and I need to go scream now. Please hold. And then it's like, straighten my dress. Fine.
Exactly. I agree.
You can have fun with it. So anyway, this is going to put a bow on this. Thank you so much for listening. Again, this show is lovingly sponsored by the lovely people at Vision Advertising. They are my weird family and I love them. Also, my work wife is pretty great. Love you, honey.
Thanks. Oh, thanks, dear.
So that is the lovely and talented Julia Becker Collins. I am Laura DiBenedetto. Thanks for spending time with us. Go check out vision-advertising.com. Learn all about the services that we provide, how we can help you get clear on where you stand with your brand, how we can support you, and how we can help make you rich. See you next time.